Hello, everyone. Welcome to English 120 College Composition 2. My name is Niles Hike, and I am an assistant professor of English at Dickinson State University, my alma mater. I graduated from Dickinson State University way back, way back in the day. And since then, I've had the privilege of teaching College Composition 1 and College Composition 2 at different universities, such as North Dakota State University, Baylor University, West Virginia University, to name a few. And it's an absolute privilege to be back at my undergrad teaching writing and literature courses. Important before we even get into the details that I'm here to kind of cover in this introduction video is you're going to have to write 5 papers, and this is a requirement that the School of Education has made beginning last year. We decided as a collective group that it's important for all of the students who take English 110 and English 120 to have the same experience. That means if you're taking this course from this instructor or that instructor and you're taking it this semester or that semester, you have to have the same kind of equivalent workload or experience. Therefore, you're going to have to write 5 papers that we decided every student in this course is going to have to write, whether it's a 5 week or 8 week course. What are you going to have to do to be successful in this course? Number one is you're going to have to bring some great messages for your papers. This means you're going to have to close every one of your opening paragraphs for all 5 of your papers with a great thesis statement. There are resources provided in all of our assignment sheets to help you understand and practice great thesis statements. Usually it means that we don't just go with the first thought. It means that we spend a little bit of time maybe writing possible messages before we choose the best one to build our paper around. College writing has high standards for these messages, especially in English 120, where you're going to have to also write this research paper that is the central experience in English 120. Great messages. Be willing to write several before you choose the best one to build your different papers around. Number two is you're going to have a writing reading schedule. When you're taking a 3 credit course, you have to put in a certain number of hours. That's required by the U.S. Department of Education. So for a 3 credit course, you're expected to put in excess of 45 plus hours. And that means that all the reading in the assignment sheets and all the writing that you're going to have to do is factored in for those 45 plus hours. My assignment sheets are long and they have a lot of reading in them, but that's because you're expected to read and write. So be willing to read those assignment sheets carefully and also put in the writing load required for those 45 plus hours. Number three is you're going to have this willingness to write 5 plus papers. You're going to write them in a writing portfolio that I will share with you. You do not write your papers outside of this portfolio. You will write your papers in the portfolio that I will provide for you beginning week 1. You're going to let me know what kind of topic you'd like to explore throughout the semester. You're not wedded to that topic, but I'd like to have an idea of what you want to write about. It should be a topic that you find fascinating, something connected to your field. So think about topics of interest in your field, your degree, and try to choose that topic because that way you're using these papers to grow your knowledge in that area that is important to you. You chose that area, that degree for a reason. Grow your knowledge in that area. Once you post about that topic, I will share a link to your Google Docs document, your writing portfolio with you, and all your papers have to be typed in there. You cannot submit any paper outside of the portfolio. It will simply be a 0. Number 4, enthusiasm for engaging peers with great discussion questions. Every week, twice a week, you're going to have to write 2 questions and you're going to have to write 2 paragraph responses to 2 classmates. One thing we love about in-person learning is that sense of excitement that comes with speaking up in front of our classmates. We can have that same experience in an online course. All it takes is a great question. Ask your great question on the Q&A board and then answer one student of your choosing with a well-developed paragraph. 2 of these every week. The last thing you're going to have is this motivation to work ahead of deadlines. Don't wait. When I have taken asynchronous online courses myself. One thing I loved about them was I didn't have to wait for a class meeting or my instructor. I could just get going, right? So harness that energy that's prevalent during the first week or so of a semester and get going. Try to tackle the work ahead of those deadlines. What's an example of a discussion question for the Q&A board? Here is one that I've selected just so you have an idea of what these discussion questions can look like. Of course, you can ask more practical questions such as, does anyone know what the page count requirement is for paper 5? You could do that. But you could also ask more engaging questions such as, what paper are you looking forward to? And what message are you thinking about using for that paper? In the visual here, I've provided an example of what is expected for a great thesis statement. It's more than a fact, it's more than an argument. It has this suggestion of meaning or significance. A successful thesis statement has these three levels, and you'll learn about this in one of the readings in the assignment sheet. It's called the three-story thesis. And by extension, you're considered a three-story intellect when you can successfully compose your thesis statements. Last thing is I'm here for any questions. I provided here an example of our Blackboard module for writing messages to me, and ask questions if you have any for me. I'd certainly be more than willing to help address any questions you may have. Just allow a little bit more response time on the weekend. Otherwise, I usually respond fairly quickly. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to our course, and I'm excited to be working with you in this summer session.